It was at this moment that he knew. He fucked up.
Hey guys, TGKS Productions. So for this Red Dead Online video, we're going to discuss why this Bounty Hunter expansion update is the most disappointing and worst update that I personally have ever experienced in Rockstar Games' very popular online worlds of GTA Online and Red Dead Online. So I know this video is not going to be surrounded around GTA Online, and also this video is the video I promised to make the other day. I said I was going to make a video dedicated to the strong emotions that players had about this new Red Dead Online Bounty expansion update that released yesterday, December 1st, at least the time that I'm recording and likely releasing this video. In any case, I bring GTA Online into this because obviously GTA Online is another Rockstar Games online world. There's updates that have been released in that game over 7 years now, and I use that because I want to just really put this into perspective of how bad and like I said, disappointing this update was in Red Dead Online. I've experienced over 7 years of GTA Online updates and now almost over 2 years of Red Dead Online updates between the beta period and then exiting the beta period. This is definitely, out of all of those updates that I've experienced, both GTA Online and Red Dead Online, this is arguably for sure the most disappointing and worst update that I've experienced yet. So first off, why is this arguably the most disappointing, worst update that I have ever encountered? Well, I think it stems all the way back, and this is only just the beginning of it, but I would say this stems all the way back to the announcement that Rockstar made literally, I want to say exactly a week before this update released in Red Dead Online. They literally gave us 3 paragraphs on this Newswire article. But in this second paragraph here, if you see what I'm putting up on the screen here, they state that, and those new to the game can prepare for next week's big update. They say big update here. Now, if you've been playing Red Dead Online, you know that this is arguably not even close to a big update. In fact, the past 3 updates we received in Red Dead Online over the past over a year now, with the Naturals Roll update, July 2020, the Moonshiners update in December 2019, and even the Frontier Pursuits update in September 2019, which brought the first roles into Red Dead Online, including the Bounty Hunter role in the original license. All of those updates are arguably way larger, and I'm talking about individually looking at each one. They're arguably way larger than this update. In fact, this update, I would say, is so small that it is comparable to some of the earliest Red Dead Online updates that we received, almost in the beta period, with like the February 26th update in 2019, and then the May 14th update, which exited us out of the beta period and into, Red Dead Online itself. That's how small this update arguably is. Now, I bring this up just because I believe Rockstar advertised this update completely wrong from the start, completely gave us false expectations, and I think this was definitely the starting point of our disappointment for this Bounty Hunter expansion update. Now, I wish I could say it ended there with just their sort of false advertising, but the content that actually, the little bit of content and changes that we did receive for this update, it doesn't get any better. And what I want to start with first, and this is why I say definitely the veteran players, including myself, are outraged about, and that is daily challenge balancing. And yes, I say daily challenge balancing because that's how Rockstar has stated it in their patch notes. Now let me put up on the screen here this so-called daily challenge balancing. There's 3 bullet points here. The first of which, daily challenge streaks are no longer be able to be maintained indefinitely past 28 days. Instead, once a player hits a 28-day challenge streak, their streak counter will reset, and they will receive a lump cash payment of Red Dead Online $100. Now, we did receive an alert a few days before this update that did mention this first bullet point, so this sort of came expected. We didn't know how much money we were going to receive when we reached streak day 28, but we did know that our streak was going to continually being reset every time that we reach streak day 28. Now, the second bullet point here states that any player with a daily challenge streak greater than 28 days prior to December 1st, 2020 will have their streak counter reset and receive a one-time cash payment of Red Dead Online $600. We also knew that was going to be a change. That was also stated in that alert. I will make a mention here that The game supposedly told me when I loaded into Red Dead Online that I received $600. I can tell you that I definitely did not receive $600. I don't know what's up there. I don't know if a lot of players are encountering that issue, but that is just besides the point of all the issues. Or really, that's not even the biggest change, and I'd say outrage that was made with this daily challenge balancing. You look at the third point here, the amount of gold awarded for completing daily challenges have been reduced by 50 freaking percent. 50%. Now, what irritates me and pisses me off about that bullet point, and also a lot of other players, is this was never mentioned in their alert. They talked about streaks being reset. They talked about, this new cash bonus you receive on streak day 28. Never made a mention at all about, oh yeah, by the way, the amount of gold you're going to earn with daily challenges is going to be cut by 50%. That is extremely significant. In fact, I'm going to give you an idea in this video just how significant that is. So if we take a look at the daily challenge, 4 weeks here, the multipliers. To be clear, the multipliers are still the same for all 4 weeks. You're going to end up seeing here, I'm all the way back on week 1 here. There's a 1.5 times multiplier in week 1, and actually the multipliers don't kick in until you're on the next week. That can be a little bit confusing, so I'm not going to get the 1.5 times multiplier until I'm on week 2. But you'll see that currently I'm only earning for each individual daily challenge 0.10 gold bars, as well as even with the bonus, for the challenge goals for completing all 7 daily challenges and then 9 roll ones. I'm also, for each of those bonuses, I'm only earning 0.30 gold bars. Now, before this update, on week 1, if we just look at the individual daily challenge, for completing an individual one, on week 1 before an update, it was at 0.20 gold bars. Now it's at 0.10. So you see that 50% reduction. On week 2, completing an individual daily challenge before the update, it was at 0.30 gold bars. Now we see it at 0.15. Week 3, before the update for completing an individual daily challenge, you earned 0.40 gold bars. Now it's 0.20. And then week 5, before the update, completing an individual daily challenge, you earned 0.50 gold. Now you're only earning 0.25. And obviously, all the challenge goals have been cut in half as well. But that is extremely significant. Essentially, this is how ridiculous this is. Our week 4 now, which we only get to have, we can't even keep this indefinitely anymore, but our week 4 that we get one time out of the month, and that's if we actually keep a streak, the multiplier is literally just slightly better than our week 1 multiplier before. That's definitely saying something. That's pretty bad. So this is an extremely disappointing change, and like I said, I'm extremely disappointed in Rockstar that they didn't announce this 50% reduction in gold earning with daily challenges, both individual daily challenges as well as the challenge goals for completing the 7 general daily challenges as well as the 9 roll ones. So moving on, another very disappointing change that came with this update is with the Outlaw Pass. And to simply put it, they made the rebate, or as far as being able to get your gold back for what you put into the pass, that you've been able to, fairly easily do in the past, they've made that harder now. And this is how they made it harder. So if I take a little section from the newswire here, it says, this week, all players who earn the Outlaw Pass number 4 will receive Red Dead Online $400 as well as 10 gold bar rebate within 72 hours of purchasing the pass. Now, a lot of players say, oh, that's a good thing. Not necessarily, because before, in the pass alone, you could get all your gold back. Now, unfortunately, with this pass, if you max out Outlaw Pass number 4, you only get 30 gold bars back. And if you don't purchase this pass by December 7th, because they say this week, or over the course of this next event week, probably when the tunables reset on December 8th, bringing likely a new legendary bounty, you're not going to get 10 gold bars back. So you're only getting 30 gold bars back instead of 40. And that's the first time they've made a change like this. They made it harder. Essentially, they made it harder for you to get all your gold back that you put into the pass. Now, this is frustrating to me for the main reason that what I've actually done in the past, or with some past Outlaw passes, specifically Outlaw Pass 1 through 3, the Halloween pass doesn't really count here. That was a seasonal pass. But I'm talking about the numbered Outlaw Pass in the past. Outlaw Pass 1 through 3, what I've actually done a few times is you automatically level up the Outlaw Pass even if you don't purchase it. So a lot of times what I would do is I'd level it up. I'd wait maybe a week or 2 weeks before it ended, purchase it, get all my unlocks, get all my gold back, and, I was happy. Now I can no longer do this. If I do this, I'm losing out on 10 gold bars. Obviously not as disappointing as the daily challenge balancing. I mean, there's a lot more gold that's lost there, but this is still a disappointment to me. I don't know why they had to do this. Obviously, they're trying to drive up their gold sales, try to, have an incentive of players to buy this immediately. But I mean, really, Rockstar, you have to make this change after 3 Outlaw passes of consistency. I just don't see a reason for it. Now, I would say the last huge disappointment with this update, and this update really isn't big. I mean, there's even though I'm only naming like 3 main disappointments in this video, you gotta understand this update obviously isn't that large. This is the majority of the update we're talking about here. But the other huge disappointment that came to this update is them making us purchase this prestigious bounty hunter license, and I would say arguably an unfair price. I'm not going to go into a ton of detail about this. I talked about this in my video that I made the other day when I was talking about whether this prestigious license is worth it or not. Essentially, the original bounty hunter license, where you're actually getting double the role levels, you're getting 20 role levels out of that, way more role unlocks, costs 15 gold bars, and it still does. Now, with this prestigious bounty hunter license, it also costs 15 gold bars, but you're only getting 10 role levels and like half the unlocks and half the skills. Why in Rockstar's right mind would they charge the same amount of gold? What is also upsetting me about this, I also made reference to this in my video the other day, is on their newswire. If we go back to what I talked about at the beginning of the video, when the one and only newswire with literally 3 paragraphs advertise this update, they make a mention in their first paragraph here that prestigious level equipment and skills to unlock across 10 more bounty hunter ranks. I could tell you the skills may be somewhat beneficial, but the equipment, the role unlocks you're specifically getting, there's no prestigious level equipment. It's literally pure cosmetics. I was very disappointed to see it. I was extremely hoping for some really cool new, like, useful equipment to help me bounty hunt more effectively, like the bounty wagon, the tracking arrows pamphlet, the reinforced lasso, the bullets. None of that has came with this update. So that was extremely disappointing. And the fact they're charging 15 gold bars for literally half the roles, half the role levels, half the unlocks is ridiculous in my opinion. If they ever do an expansion on a role again, please, please add useful equipment and don't charge the same amount that you charge for, you know, the original 20 levels. Please don't do that. And one thing I want to mention as far as a positive note, literally the best thing and rather change or improvement that came this update is that Rockstar now lets us use the advanced camera on horseback. The advanced camera came with our previous update, the Natural Stroll update, and I said, you know, I don't know why we can't use this camera on horseback. It would be much more beneficial than it already is, and with this update, they have allowed us to do that, so that was a positive note. Thank you, Rockstar, for letting us do that, but literally that is like the one of the most positive things that came in this update. I wish there was more, but that's really about it. So all in all, you might be wondering, you know, what the heck was Rockstar thinking with this update? You know, what did they have in mind? Personally, here's my opinion on this matter. This is more of my opinion. With this sort of new standalone version of Red Dead Online only being $4.99 until I believe like sometime in February in 2021, they expect there's going to be a lot of new players to be joining Red Dead Online. And I will tell you, and this is more from my perspective, I do believe the Bounty Hunter role is one of the most popular, if not most popular, roles in Red Dead Online. Even like my video that I made over a year ago that sort of had the intro, the Bounty Hunter role, gave a little review on it, is one of my most viewed Red Dead Online videos. So I do believe that they figured that with this, you know, very low price for the standalone version of Red Dead Online, they're going to get a lot of new players in. They figured that they would sort of set up the economy the right way so that these players wouldn't be able to obviously earn exorbitant amount of gold, so they'd have to purchase these gold packs to further be able to invest in these roles, and more specifically this, you know, original bounty hunter license and this prestigious bounty hunter license. That's my personal opinion. I you know, like I said, this is obviously subjective. I'm not saying this is 100% what Rockstar is trying to do, but I wouldn't be surprised if there's some truth to that. You know, I'm trying to think as strategic and as logically as possible, and that's my opinion on what I think their thinking was with this Red Dead Online update. In any case, guys, I do apologize for literally like a 14-minute rant here, but I definitely believe this needed to be discussed. In fact, what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave a link to my video in a comment. I'm going to pin it. I'll even leave the feedback, Rockstar's feedback page for Red Dead Online there as well. I encourage you to put this video on their feedback page. I would encourage also other, you know, Red Dead Online players that, you know, are big into Red Dead Online. They have a YouTube channel. Talk about this. Encourage players to leave feedback about it, because I don't ever want to see another update like this again. This was a major fail of an update. Extremely, like I said, extremely disappointing. One of the worst and most disappointing updates I've ever encountered, and I never want to see this happen again. So I do encourage that. Do encourage it. You know, there should be, you know, the veterans should be talking about this should be leaving feedback about it. And I obviously encourage the other players, because obviously the beginners don't really understand how disappointing this was. It might just be stepping into Red Dead Online, but this is a very disappointing update. In any case, guys, appreciate you tuning in. Hope you found this video interesting, beneficial. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, share it. As always, have a great day.